welcome to our video tutorial again. In this video, we're going to explore the this keyword in Java. It also works the same way in other programming language. They are implementing all three. So what is this keyword? This keyword is what we call a reference keyword. You can access to your current objects and access to certain data. Okay? This is to resolve ambiguity between variables and parameter. For example, as you can see on the class on the right, we have one parameter of the constructor student, age, and we also have variable of the class age here. So it means that they have the same name, they are conflict, right? So if you don't say this.a equal age, you say age equal age. So in Java, it does not know what variable you want to assign it to, right? Age equal age, they are the same. So to avoid the conflict here, we use this keyword. We refer to this.a. It means this class.age. So we have age of this class equal to age, getting from the parameter of this constructor. Okay. Actually, there are many ways that we can use to refer our this. Either to refer our class instance variable, as we see in the previous example, to invoke our class constructor, to return the class instance when we create the class as a parameter, or some other operation of using this. In the example, you provide a parameter to the this here. So it means that this here referring to this class, because this is take parameter, right? It means this is the constructor. So the function, the constructor test here, it call to this, it means itself, pass number 10, 20, it means under constructor of this object, of this class, test, take two parameter integer. So it means this one, parameterized constructor, where we have this data. So we activate this dot A, this dot B equal to A and B, assign this data into this variable of the class. Okay. So when you test this out, it will further invoke another constructor from this default test constructor, right? This constructor activate another constructor. Another function is to call the current class method. For example, we have the function display, which invoke other function show here. Based on the programming concept, the way we write code from the top to the bottom. So the function display does not know the function show yet. So you call to the class itself, this the class.show, so we can access to the method inside this class. Okay, so you can test this out. In another way that we use the constructor, we see in the previous example, this is in more detail. Mainly you will see the this keyword. In this class, name class myDate, we have three private variables, day, month, year, and we have how many constructor and how many functions? Can you guess for a moment? Yes, we have two constructor, not three. No? The first two here are called constructor. They have the same name as class, while the last one here is the function, not a constructor, because the name is create next day. myDate here is just a return type, right? Don't be confused. This is just, I suppose you may a little bit confused. There are three constructor, but there's not. Only two, okay? The last one is function. So the first two constructors, the first one it take three parameter. So you get this information applied to your current class variable, that day, month, and year, using this keyword to avoid the conflict. In the second constructor here, myDate, you pass as a date object, right? So you can access any data inside this object, the day, the month, and year, because we have this data, so on and so forth. So let's test this out. Okay, I'm going to create, let's say we test with this one first, the full constructor. I'm gonna go to the window, show you in Project Explorer. Okay, so I'm gonna create a new package. Let's say myDisk keyword. Okay, in order to test the keyword this command, you can create in the same existing package. It's also fine. Just remark into my folder. Create a new class and say this is test. Okay. Okay. So this is the main that you can delete it or you can activate it later. It is okay. So let's say you have some data. You have A, you have B, right? And then we have the test constructor, we have another constructor that takes two parameters. We have the A here, so B. Okay. So in this default constructor, we'll access to this data. Let's say this dot A equal A, this dot B equal B, for example. Let's say we create a main function. Let's try it out. Okay. So in this main function, I'm going to actually use the constructor by calling this constructor name. Test the keyword here. Let's say I'm going to create this one. Let's say T equal to new test by giving this data. Okay. Then H. This is our data. And then let's say we have a function in order to display our data. Display A and B, the data here. Display syst, okay, my data. A equal to something, that's A, and B, no? Okay. B equal to, that's B. Okay. So let's try this out. Display function t.display. Okay, we display this data. Let's run this. So as you can see here, this data got 10 and 80, right? However, if I don't use this keyword, what happened? Let's see. Okay, there is the warning line here. As you can see, this assignment, what something happens. If you read the instruction, it's saying, okay, the asshole has no effect, right? Because the variable itself set to itself. It does not know, okay, you want to take this parameter, set to this class variable, okay? So let's try this. You can see there is no effect at all. By default, variable set as 0. If it is a string, it should be null, okay? So you got no effect at all if you don't use this keyword, okay? That's why in the previous video, when we try to make a constructor, we try to have the name that are not the same, right? If you still remember, I create sometime the student class, and then we have this variable, and then we try to avoid the same name, right? Because we haven't used this keyword. That's why I try to avoid this. And now, okay, we can use this keyword to get effect to our class variable. I hope you get this point. Try this out. Okay, we get affected for this number. Okay. However, if I test this one, let's say I create a two. Test without parameter. Okay, this nothing happen, right? If I put this t2.display, it should be 0, the default value of A and B. But what if I do something else? Let's say I activate to this constructor this, and then I pass certain parameter. Okay, so this is what we call let's say 99. Okay, I set the default data into A and B. So this will activate this function. Try again. As you can see, this T2, we call the constructor, but this one activate this one. Okay. In other words, in other something, you can put this 9, right? Test. In the same way to use this, but this one, as you can see, there's something undefined. This is a method, no? It does not understand. That's why we need this keyword. Okay. Be sure that you got this point. We want to activate the constructor of this class. Okay, if we put this is a function. We don't have this set function yet, so we call this to activate this constructor. Okay, I hope you got this point. Back to our example. Yes, we have another one. How we create this to activate at the current class method. Okay, so suppose we have several functions. Let's say create a function in here, display already, and then we have y this show data show method. Okay, whatever you give to this. Let's say I give a welcome message, welcome to my function show. Okay, which is goodbye. Okay. And then what if we access to this function show method? Okay, you can activate this, right? This will activate this function. Okay, so in here, because in Java it's a bit smart, it know that where the function is, although it is under the function, it will be able to show. Okay, However, you can use this keyword to precisely access to this function. Okay, this class contain a function show. Okay, we access to this one. Okay, there's the things we should make it precise. Otherwise, it may use if this class already have an object that have the show method also. It will use this class, not this same class here. So we should use this to referring to this class. Okay. Okay, we create another one. Let's say the date class. Say it with my date. Public static void main. Okay, we don't need this one. It's also fine. Let's say I have private data. We have day. We have month, and we have year, right? Okay. We say we have a few constructor. We have day, month, year. Okay, one constructor. So this is wrong, right? Because if it is a function, it must have return type. If no, it should void void, right? So this should be the same then if it is constructor. Otherwise, you got some error. So I get again a pass object date here. Okay, let's say MD representing my date. So I'm gonna do something in here. As you can see, there's something data. It should be date. Okay, it's also date. My date here, the class name. So I'm gonna say this dot day equal to MD dot day. This dot month equal to MD.month as well. Likewise for the last one is year equal to MD.year. Okay, so this if we pass this as an object. Likewise we use this as day equal day, right? This dot month equal to class variable month equal to the parameter. The last one is year equal to year here, right? So this one you maybe it is not needed because it is already different variable, right? You access to the MD here. Okay, no, this is not needed here. Okay, but you're still able to use this. But in this case, exactly you need this. Otherwise, it does not set the data. As we can see in the previous example. So now let's test the program. I'm gonna create a main function. Control space. Let's say you create a variable date d1. Okay, equal to new my date. Okay, if I pass in here. Something wrong, right? There is no default constructor anymore. We have two constructors in this case. 1, 2. This one take 3 parameters. Both all are integer. This take object, which is my date. So I'm gonna make some number. Let's say the day is 30, and the month is, let's say, April, and year 1990, for example. Okay. And let's say you're trying to access this data d1.day. So what happened? As you can see here, because they are in the same class, although this is private, you are able to access this object. Okay, because they are in the same class. Okay, the main here is created inside this my date. That's why you can use day. Okay, let's get this. So we got the day. However, if you have another class, create, okay, that's my date. Have the main function do something like this, something wrong, okay, because it is treated as another class. Now we are in the same class, it is fine. So let's say I'm gonna create a function display, okay, to do something here. Out, okay, date. What is the date? Okay. Last, let's say we have day, we have separator, or whatever we want it to be. Okay. Month. We have year. Okay, that's it. So I'm gonna display this day by using the display function d1.display. Okay. Run again. Okay, you got the date, right? If you have d1, d2, d3, d4, so on and so forth, you can do it by using this command. Okay. So I hope you get something from this video, and we'll see in the next few videos. Thank you for your attention.